Democrats are pushing back against a proposed policy from the Democratic National Committee regarding ranked choice voting. In a DNC Rules and Bylaws Committee meeting in May, members proposed a new policy to formalize what they say was already pre-existing practice for presidential primaries. Only the first round of voting will count toward allocating delegates. In 2020, Maine became the first state to expand ranked choice voting to presidential elections. 5 other states have since adopted RCV in primaries, with 6 additional states using RCV to select convention delegates. Maine Democrats are speaking out against this proposed policy, fearing it could prevent Maine's delegation from being seated at the 2028 Democratic National Convention. Other criticisms include the DNC bypassing the bipartisan decision to adopt RCV in Maine and elsewhere, calling the proposal overstepping and stripping away states' rights to run their own elections.
We've put a lot of time, energy, manpower, and love into building this secure system. And for the DNC to just out of nowhere say, we're not going to listen to your voice, we're not going to respect your form of democracy that you've decided, that the voters of Maine have repeatedly decided, I think is insulting. And I don't know what the DNC or who at the DNC thinks this is a good idea and is fear-mongering this.
Now, the co-chair of the DNC Rules and Bylaws Committee issued a response to the criticism saying, quote, ranked choice voting is incompatible with the party's delegate allocation process at this time, since RCV is a winner-take-all system, while the DNC uses proportional delegate allocation. However, the Rules and Bylaws Committee respects the right of every state to make their own decisions on important voting procedures, which is why the rules include clear guidance for states with statutory requirements like Maine, unquote. The proposal to only count the first round of ranked choice voting in presidential primaries will be subject to approval by the larger DNC body at its next meeting on August 15th.